The pain I caused you weighs heavy on my heart, but it doesn't change how I feel about you. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and I can't undo the hurt, but I can never forget the love we shared. I hurt you, and every moment since has been filled with regret. You are the most beautiful soul I've ever come across, and it's painful to think that I might be the reason for your sadness. In the quiet moments, my thoughts often return to you. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and the realization stings more than I ever expected. I know I've hurt you in ways that words can't repair, but please understand you're the most beautiful person I've ever loved. That truth never changes, no matter the pain I've caused. There's no way to undo the damage I've done, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you're the most beautiful person I've ever known. It's hard to live with that truth, knowing I've hurt you. I never meant to hurt you, but the scars I left on your heart remind me daily of your beauty, both inside and out. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I regret it every single day. Every time I think of the pain I caused you, I'm reminded of the beauty you hold, not just on the outside, but within. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I can't erase the hurt I left behind. Sometimes the hardest part is realizing that you're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. My thoughts are filled with both regret and admiration, but it's too late to make things right. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and as much as I wish I could change the past, I know the beauty you carry will outshine the mistakes I made. I just hope you can see that too. You were always so beautiful, even when I couldn't see it. Now, as I look back on what I've done, I see how deeply I've hurt the most beautiful person I've ever known. The thought that I hurt you is the hardest thing to live with, because you're the most beautiful person I've ever had the privilege of knowing. I didn't deserve you, but I can't stop loving you. I've caused you so much pain, yet I can still see the beauty in your eyes, the love you once gave. You're the most beautiful person I have ever hurt, and that realization is a wound I carry. There are no words to express how sorry I am for hurting you, but I need you to know this. You are the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and that will haunt me forever. Every time I remember how I hurt you, I feel the weight of your beauty even more. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and it breaks me to think I caused you pain. You were never supposed to be the one I hurt, but I did, and now I'm left with the most beautiful memory of someone I failed. You're the most beautiful pen I've ever hurt, and that truth doesn't fade. Your beauty isn't just in your appearance, it's in your soul, in the way you loved me. I hurt you, and now I'm left with nothing but the memory of the most beautiful person I've ever known. It's almost unbearable to admit that I hurt you, knowing that you are the most beautiful person I've ever had the honor of knowing. My heart aches for the hurt I caused you. I wish I could take back every word, every action that caused you pain, because you're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. If only I had been more aware of how precious you were to me. I see you, even now, and all I can think is how beautiful you are, how perfect you were in every way. And I hurt you. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and I regret the choices I made. The love I had for you was real, but the hurt I caused you makes it feel like I never deserved you. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I can't escape the shame of what I've done. You'll always be the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, no matter where life takes me. And while I can't take back the pain, I can't stop loving you either. The regret I carry for hurting you is endless because you are the most beautiful person I've ever known. No one else will ever come close to the love and pain I feel for you. In my darkest moments, I think of you and how I hurt the most beautiful person I have ever met. There are no excuses, only the crushing weight of my actions. What I did to you can't be erased, but I need you to know that you are still the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. And the love I feel for you is as deep as the hurt I caused. The beauty of who you are haunts me every day, and it only deepens the regret I feel for causing you pain. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I'm sorry. No matter where life takes us, I'll never forget the way you looked at me, the way your beauty shone through the pain I caused. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. I see your face in my thoughts every day, and the only thing I feel is regret for hurting the most beautiful person I've ever known. You are unforgettable, and so is the pain I caused. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and it's a truth I have to live with every day. It's not easy, but it's a reminder of how deeply I failed you. If I could undo the hurt I caused you, I would. But I can't change the past. All I have now is the understanding that you are the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I regret every moment of it. The way I hurt you is something I can never forgive myself for, especially because you are the most beautiful person I've ever met. Your beauty still takes my breath away. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and that thought consumes me. Every day, I feel the weight of my actions, and I wish I could make things right. I see your beauty everywhere, in the way you smile, in the way you speak, in everything you do. I hurt you, and that makes my love for you feel so complicated, yet undeniable. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. You deserve more than what I gave you, and I regret hurting the most beautiful person I've ever known. But it's the truth I must live with, no matter how much it pains me. I may have hurt you, but that doesn't change the fact that you are the most beautiful person I've ever known. It's a truth that lives with me, and I can never forget it. The regret I feel for hurting you is endless, and I can't escape the fact that you are the most beautiful person I have ever known. Your beauty, inside and out, still haunts me. I've hurt the most beautiful person I've ever had the privilege of knowing, and that knowledge cuts me deeper every day. If only I could undo my mistakes. Your beauty was never something I took for granted, but I still hurt you. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and I can't stop feeling the weight of my mistakes. I want you to know that even though I hurt you, I still see you as the most beautiful person I've ever met. It's a pain that never goes away. You were the most beautiful person I've ever known, and I destroyed that beauty with my actions. Now, I live with the pain of knowing what I've done to someone so incredible. Every time I think about you, I can't escape the regret of how I hurt the most beautiful person I have ever met. Your beauty is unmatched, and so is the guilt I carry. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and the sorrow I feel for causing you pain is something I can't explain. I just hope you know how deeply I regret it. I see your beauty in everything I do, and it reminds me of the pain I caused. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and that truth stays with me day after day. The love I feel for you is overshadowed by the hurt I caused, but you will always be the most beautiful person I've ever known. Even though I hurt you, your beauty continues to haunt me. You're the most beautiful person I've ever met, and I'll forever regret the pain I caused. You were a gift, and I squandered it. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I can't undo the damage I've done. What I did to you can't be forgiven, but the way I see you, the most beautiful person I have ever known, will never fade. I'm sorry for hurting you, but I can't stop seeing your beauty. You're the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I can't forget you. I hurt the most beautiful person I've ever met, and it's something I'll have to live with forever. The regret is overwhelming, but your beauty remains. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and hurting you is something that will never leave me. I can only hope you can find healing from the pain I caused. You'll always be the most beautiful person I've ever hurt, and I can't stop thinking about the love we lost because of my mistakes. I never intended to hurt you, but the truth is undeniable. You're the most beautiful person I've ever known, and I regret everything I did. The pain I caused you will never leave me, and neither will the truth that you are the most beautiful person I've ever hurt. You are the most beautiful person I've ever met, and the fact that I hurt you is something I can't erase, no matter how hard I try.